Hey, what's up? It's Alice, Abby, and Devon. Welcome to Kill James Bond, a podcast that is pissed off. Okay, right. Abby's had a stressful
Speak
week.
on it.
Abby's had a stressful week, and when Abby's had a stressful week, Abby likes to let off a little bit of steam, listeners.
Sure.
So I arranged a date for tonight, and I went through all the necessary preparations. I have booked a lovely restaurant. I have shaved my legs. I have brought out the special perfume with the hormones in that makes people horny. I've moved the colored lights downstairs to the bedroom. I've fully charged all the vibrators. I have cleaned all of the strap-ons, and I spent fucking £200 on brand new lingerie. And what happens? At 11:30 this morning, my date texts me to say that she has COVID and can't come. And I'm like,
You're the worst casualty of the pandemic, and I'm so sorry that
I
this
got
has
my
happened
nails
to you.
done specially for like the flesh, the clawing of the flesh.
To rend.
To rend. I'm
yes.
feeling an urge to rend, and now I have no one to rend.
I'm so sorry you have no one to rend.
It's
You know?
a shame to see. I think I have COVID become an actual problem that you
Yeah.
experienced.
Yeah. Brand new strap-on, brand new lingerie. Like,
I'm meant to be going on a date in Edinburgh to rend, or to be rented, actually.
To be rent.
But
Be
that
rent.
depends. To be rent, but that depends entirely upon how long it takes us to record an episode of Well, There's Your Problem, which I'm doing after
Ooh,
this.
okay.
So I'm never fucking going to Edinburgh.
About a million years, I think.
Fucked this.
Well,
yeah, 100%.
Speaking of sexual frustration, we watched a film that is about that very thing. Because
Yes,
we
we
watched, at my behest, The Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog. Do you want a
Power
theme song for this, or are we
Dog.
just going straight into it? I think we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
okay,
The Power
no
of the
theme
Dog.
First time we've ever not had a theme song?
Is it? No, fuck it. We're doing a theme song.
Yeah.
No. Me watching this movie, pointing at any of the male actors.
They're all gay in this movie.
That's right. It's a movie about being gay. This is a movie that our beloved Sam Elliott got into trouble about because he went on Mark Maron's podcast and he was like, fucking Western's about being gay and shit. It was bullshit. Why the fuck did we let a woman from New Zealand direct a Western? What does she know about it? And yeah, he had to apologize for that, for being homophobic about this movie.
Sam Elliott believes he's a real cowboy.
I
Yes,
think he's
yes,
been
he
doing
does.
it
And
for long
Jane
enough that he
Campion.
genuinely does. Yeah, look, Jane Campion, by the way, the person who directed this, just some bint from New Zealand. Jane fucking Campion.
But she answered him to say, like, he's not a cowboy, he's an actor, which was a very funny thing.
Like-
To be like, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Just because you have the moustache when you're not working doesn't mean that, like, you are actually a
He's
cowboy.
lived full-time as a cowboy for 2 years. He's entitled.
Yeah, he probably has, in all honesty.
A cab assigned cowboy at birth.
Name a fucking Sam Elliott movie where he wasn't a cowboy.
So this movie, The Power of the Dog, it kind of slots neatly into my feelings about a lot of Jane Campion stuff, where I'm like, damn, that looks feminist at first inspection. And I kind of have some thoughts about this that we'll get into. But in the meantime, you should know that Sam Elliott said it was gay. And while he meant that as a bad thing, he was right, it is gay.
He's right, but we think that that's good. Also, I've just Googled
Yes.
Sam Elliott, and the first line of his IMDb is tall, thin, wiry. Sam Elliott is the classic picture of the American cowboy. This guy
Sure,
is just
okay.
a cowboy, apparently. They've just let him be
yeah.
one.
He's been like grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And now he's a cowboy.
His film debut was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. All right, fair enough. Yeah, you know what?
Was it really?
You know what? This
Wow.
guy gets to talk about cowboys like he is one.
Well,
He's
yeah,
done
no
nothing
cowboys
but
were ever
cowboy.
really gay. Like, no, come on, of course
Yeah,
they were.
yeah.
You get a shitload of dudes together in one place with, like, you know, like social
They're
mores and things
sucking,
like that.
they're
Nobody
fucking.
is gonna suck or fuck. Like that would be ridiculous.
Well, you get into all of the same jokes people made about Brokeback Mountain, which is how are you bottoming when you're up a mountain?
For real.
You don't have like
You guys are
anything.
subsisting on a diet of beans. You
Yeah,
cannot.
yeah, troubling. But so The Power of the Dog, right? This movie begins with a lot of sort of like kind of a Campion trademark, I would say. A lot of like really intimate shots of animals, which persist throughout this movie. And it strikes me looking at this that like you get a lot of cowboy films. Not a lot actually like really notice cows or find them interesting.
This
but
film
one
notices both cows and boys.
That's right.
That's true.
Finally.
The two elements of cowboy, the dialectic of cowboy, cow and boy, it notices the fuck out of both of those.
Also, horses. I want to talk about horses later on because I like the animal shots in this. But anyway, yes.
Yes, yeah, I do too.
They're really good.
So, what we're seeing is a cattle drive on a ranch in Montana in 1925, and the ranch is run by two brothers.
Two brothers.
Brother
Two
one,
brothers.
Phil.
Phil.
That's Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's right, baby.
He's
First of all,
Cumberbatching all over the place, right?
I love to
I love
see.
when he said it's Cumberbatch in time and Cumberbatch all over those guys.
God, we're all fucking feral today.
Well, let's Abby acting zone.
Okay.
This is a really good film to watch if you want to learn about the concept of physical acting, because Benedict Cumberbatch's physical acting in this is really good. In particular, my favorite bit of acting, as we know from George Lazenby, the way that he walks. I think some of this is the costume because he's wearing like very heavy cowboy boots and like chaps.
Spurs. Most importantly, the Spurs. This movie loves the fucking Spurs and it loves to make you hate the Spurs because everywhere he goes, and I should say, Phil is a bullying character. He is not a nice dude. Everywhere he goes, he is preceded by the sound of the fucking Spurs.
Yeah, and he like stomps around the place. He like really swings his legs. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch is not a very like big framed like muscular dude. He's not like a big Jack Dave Bautista bully. But you see the way in which like he really uses his physicality in this. It's like some really good fucking physical acting. I mean, yeah, he kind of like you say Benedict Cumberbatch is in the film, you know the acting's gonna be good because he's like really fucking good at his job. But like, still, it's always sick to see a pro at work.
I have a criticism that you aren't allowed to laugh at because he's a working actor, which is he's got an accent, and boy howdy does he have an accent.
I liked his accent in this.
I did not.
I didn't know if it was authentic.
So he has a brother, Jesse Plemons, George, and George is like
guy I love to see.
Yeah, guy I love to see, but George is like the one who is slightly nicer and more round. We get a great shot of them like riding horses together, and like they ride differently. They have different like outfits, different hats even. I'm like, oh, I see. This is like the old West and the new West is what's happening here. And George wants so badly to be civilized.
Yeah, George is a bit kind of like softer. He's not quite as rough and ready or outdoorsy.
Yes, yeah.
He's also more rounded in a literal sense, which Benedict Cumberbatch makes fun of him for.
Well, he calls him fatso all the time because he's a piece of shit.
Clemens is so fucking good at this exact like kind of character.
So like a generally affable, nice
guy.
For like the middle third.
Yes, yeah.
We'll get to that.
But so Phil is sort of like bullying him in this accent.
25 years ago, where were you, Georgie boy?
Georgie. But
that's fine.
So they're doing the cattle drive. We learn two things. First of all, sometimes cows have anthrax and they just die where they stand, and you got to keep the cows away from them because that's very dangerous.
Don't fucking touch them.
We also learn that Benedict Cumberbatch's character Phil does not like to bathe. He doesn't like to do it, and this is one of those things where I can immediately sense out the contours of the movie. And this led me sort of in the wrong direction, actually. But like, what?
No, it's just it's so good when you're like
when I do a crispened potato snack.
I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, I figured out the movie.
It's something that I only would have thought of because of being married to Chris, because my husband used to work with at-risk youth, right? And one of the things with at-risk youth is you develop certain behaviors and stuff. Guy who doesn't want to wash and who enjoys, as Phil later says, he like stinks and he likes it. That's like textbook abused kid shit right there. Like 100%. Yeah. It's because it's like, I do not want people to touch me or come near me. And so I have made myself as like repulsive as possible in order to avoid anyone feeling any kind of desire for me, because I've only experienced it in an abusive way.
Huh.
I also picked that up from my time as a teacher.
I did not know this, but now I'm thinking back to the time at school and like kids in my school when I was a kid who were like that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That's a really interesting thing to learn. The more you know. See, this is an educational podcast.
That's right.
Absolutely. So if someone smells bad, just assume that's why. Don't take any kind of
Yeah, I would say blanket.
If someone smells bad, what you should do is immediately jump 0 to 100, put your hand on their shoulder, and go, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
That will work out for you.
Go
It
further,
won't be
in fact,
weird.
if somebody smells nice and says they've been abused, they're lying.
They're lying.
In which we scheme to give you the worst sort of interpersonal advice we can think of.
It's an educational podcast that we will tell you new facts, but the ways in which we will encourage you to deploy them are deeply wrong.
Well, now, partner, I think that's quite enough of that. This is the one take that I'm doing towards recording the bit that says, hey, if you want to listen to the rest of this podcast, you're going to have to give us some fucking money. You're going to have to go to killjamesbond. Oh, shit. Fuck, one take. You're going to have to go to patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word, and cross our damn palms with at least 5 silver. If you want to hear the rest of this. I am fucked up right now, boys. Anyway, I'll fucking see you at the Patreon. Have a good one. Go on. Get yourself something nice.